The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewers, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. It's a new year, 2023. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to our show. Today we are going to talk about New Year's resolution. On the show, I have a guest who's going to help us understand why do we need New Year's resolution? Why do we have to plan it? Why should we keep what you have listed as resolution for us to follow throughout the year? Is it possible to maintain it? What are the challenges? What are the consequences of not following such and such things? I'll allow our guest to introduce herself. Welcome, guest.
Okay, thank you for having me. Happy New Year. It's another year that we have come. No, I'm not very new, but let me introduce myself. My name is Pastor Paul Blessing. I have another new name, Neshipai.
A nice name.
Yeah,
for the
nice.
Maasai.
Yeah, I went to visit the Maasai over Christmas, and they baptized me with their name.
Okay.
And it's an honor. It's an honor because it was done by people who have age. That's a great honor. So yeah, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a pastor. I do a lot of things, and my program is called Star with Paul. My message is to stir you up. So we are here to stir you up to look at your resolutions for the year, how you can do them, and that's why we are here today.
Welcome to the show, Pastor Paul
you.
Blessing.
Thank you.
It's always a great privilege to have you. Your insights, your words, they're impactful
Amen.
to the viewers
Yeah.
and everyone listening.
Yeah.
So we are talking about New Year's resolution. Could you help us understand what are resolution? People don't understand resolution. Okay, people know kuna New Year's resolution, but do not understand the meaning of resolution in itself.
Okay. Resolution is just like planning. It's making solutions, but you put them down. Now, when we look at every time a year is a new season. A new year is a new season. There's nothing changes from your clothing, from what you do, but you come to end of a season and the beginning of another. And every time you have a season, you have plans for that season. As you get to another, it's good to have plans for the other season. Though it may be that what you planned for the previous season did achieve, and you are looking at now to start planning another before even you achieve the first one. But because of the dynamics of life now where we are today, things are changing. You find Corona came, you had plans, you did achieve, this happened, changes in school. For those people who have children in school, there was that marathon, you are closing after 2 weeks, you are opening after 2 weeks. So you find even the minds of the parents were not focused much because there was a lot of changes. Now we are believing this is a year of calmness because it's like a lot have gone behind and we are coming to a new year. So I would encourage someone maybe, okay, usually you should plan your resolution by the previous year as you get to the year. And maybe you have done yours, others have not done. So let us look at how can we do it because it's just about planning. You have achievements you want to achieve, but you have plans. One thing I've noted on my research is that majority of people who do plan for their resolutions of the year, 50% they never even take off. Another percentage does it, and by the first month, they are like, no, this is not what I wanted. True. Maybe 9% will achieve the end of the year. So as you have resolutions from the beginning of the year, you can still come down when the year starts and see how things are, because there's a lot of dynamism nowadays.
So you just mentioned about 50% not taking off, 9% maintaining it to the end and achieving most of them, and others not going through with them. You just go through the first one and you see like, this one is too much for me. So my question comes in this way. It's a New Year's resolution. Must it be in a new year as we are starting a season, or can we change it in the process?
You know, there are those things we call traditions, which you usually find New Year is a tradition for everyone to have resolution. You can plan, my New Year resolution is my birth. When does your birthday come? Then you plan, my year starts in May. Because my personal year starts in May.
True.
That's the start at the end of the year when everybody's ending the year. So that's why I'm saying, let us not be static. Let's be dynamic. So that when things come, they don't find you in a corner. Let's say, for example, as we are talking about Corona, when Corona came, if you had plans even to travel to China, to travel to where, traveling was stopped.
True.
And those people who could not achieve anything without traveling, they went down.
True.
And now, that's why I'm saying dynamism is very important. If changes come, it's good to learn to be anticipative of changes. In case change comes, positive or negative, you can always be able to arise. Like in Japan, they usually say, crisis and opportunity. When a crisis arises, how can you look at it as see an opportunity in it and achieve on it? There are people who rose during Corona, and they cannot go down again. Because maybe they looked at, now everybody's in the house, and they got into social media, and they did their sales on social media, and they rose up. But the others saw a closure that we cannot get anywhere. And that was the end of them. And they closed their companies. Someone was employing maybe 100 people, and now they can't employ one because of what happened. So it's good always, especially in resolutions, I will say change should be adaptive. You should be focused that in case of changes, positive and negative, you'll always pick up and go.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You've mentioned about, you said in Japan they say
crisis and opportunities is
brings opportunity. That is very true. Depending on how you're looking at it, you take it positively and you run by it. And given that, and we say change is the only thing that is never permanent.
Yeah.
Because now when you're saying us to be dynamic and you're used in doing things in a certain way, now changing it brings a different result from what you're expecting from the normal. So with that brings me a question. Do you have an age limit where we have to have resolution? Like from what age do we have resolution? Or should someone have the resolution?
Oh, no, life is personal. There are people who at a very young age you find they can plan, they tell this is what I purpose to do. And they will pursue it to the end. There are those in their middle age and they are just sitting. Let me tell you, and I'm not against that, but I usually say, look, people like watching movies, and those people who chew mirror and big G's, they are almost the same. Someone who chews, when you chew, your mind is not focused. You like, I'm here in this show, and my mind is in Kenyatta Avenue doing window shopping. Yeah, that's what happens with chewing. And such a person, surely they are not focused. They just study them, look at them and research. You'll find them, they don't usually have focus in what they want to do, and not easy to achieve. So what I'm saying is that it is about how you pick things and how you bring them out. Yes.
Oh, that is interesting. That one I didn't see it that way. Me, I always thought chewing is an exercise of the jaw.
In fact, we call it what? It is occupation spirit. It occupies your mind. It brings a lot of things at the same time in your mind. Because as you chew, you are disturbing the stability of your head.
Mind.
And someone will chew from the morning to evening. Can you imagine? Just look at such people and go and do your own research. Even those people like chewing even big G in church. Ask them at the end of the service. They can't remember even the scriptures.
Oh,
the mind was not there. Yeah. So focus, but writing, there's writing and focusing towards achieving.
And those who are not focusing even without chewing, what will you say about them? Because you'll find that you've been distracted, but there's that spirit of distraction whereby maybe now that you've given an example of the sermon when you're in a church, and then you feel, or even in a meeting, you get distracted depending with what you left at home or how stressed you are. You'll find that by the end of the day, by the end of the meeting, if you're asked, oh, what is your opinion, Madam Blessing? And you're like, what are you talking about? Because your mind was not there. And again, you're not chewing. So what will you say about them?
You know, issues of having a problem at home and you're coming to work. If you combine the two, I tell you, you lose your opportunities.
True.
And you lose even the job. Because everybody has issues. You don't come to tell me because in your house there was a problem, you bring your problem in my office. I'll sack you. Because I also have mine. It's you to know how to manage. That's why we talk about emotions. You should learn how to manage your emotions and know how to lock that and come to this. Then you go and pick it up later. But if you are not able now to work on those emotions, you lose it. Even those resolutions will be empty talk.
Okay, we don't want them to be empty talks. We want results.
Let me give you an example. You look at the government, sometimes they write a lot of planning, they do planning, they do a lot of paperwork for the year, for 5 years, for 20 years, like Vision 2030. Those things are in paperwork. Implementation is about the people who are there. There are those who wrote the document, but maybe they are not there at this moment. But those people who are coming in, do they have the time even to go and see what has been written? What's supposed to be achieved? What was the ideas of the people who wrote this document?
Being able to see the vision for them to be the vision bearers.
Yeah, to carry it out and bring it out, you must know. Yeah, the blueprint of what was being said. So if you just come in and you say that we are here, we are going to achieve. You start reading newspapers and at the end of it you can tell, what were you doing? You had an office. What did you do? You don't know. So it's about the focus. That's why I brought the issue of mirror, because I usually say that they don't focus. We are talking about focusing to achieve, because there's writing and achieving. Yes.
There is writing and achieving.
Yes, yeah.
So that actually now that was why I was coming to understanding the importance of noting them down.
Yeah.
And the importance of implementing
Yeah.
for it to come to pass. What are the importance?
One thing about journaling in anything that you do, apart from resolution, that has to be written and maybe kept. But even when you are doing something, journaling causes you to focus. Even if, let's say you are going through something and you sit down and write it down. When you write something down, you focus on it. You see? So when you are writing your resolution, one thing, you must be objective and you must be purposeful. And you must be strategic. What is strategy? Okay, let's say for me, for this year, I'm planning maybe to open a branch in Mombasa, a branch in Kisumu. I have thought about it. I feel it in my heart. Do I have the money? Do I have the person to be on the ground? Have I checked there's a house there? So you may start saying that I'm opening a branch in Mombasa. You don't remember Mombasa, even you have never been to Mombasa, and you start talking about, you write it down and keep it. Now you have to arise. Be strategic.
And move to Mombasa.
Move to be able to implement it. Yeah.
Nice. That one is a good one for you to move and make it work.
Yeah.
Given said that when you're moving and making it work, now you've encouraged us on doing it on writing. Writing, I was listening to someone the other day, and the person holding the sermon said, when you're writing a prayer request, make sure you have 2 sets. The one that you're going to bring on the altar for it to be prayed upon, and the one you keep for you to remind yourself of what you've written. Then I sat to myself and I wondered, I had written a prayer request and I can't remember what I had written.
You didn't keep a copy.
I didn't keep a copy. I didn't keep a copy. And I think even at that time, I did not listen to the instruction. A lot of people actually, I came to realize it, because when we were listening to that, it was actually a recap of an event that you had gone to. So it being a recap, and those people that we were around with, I asked them. They also don't remember what they wrote. And now I'm seeing, now that you're saying that it is important to journal it, now I'm seeing the importance of it, because it has reminded me about that sermon. Because once you write it, you'll be able to, a place of reference. I had written A, I have achieved it. I have written B, I have done halfway, and I'm achieving it by this time. That is how you now go back to it. And I'm seeing I think I'll adapt that. Not think, I will adapt that. It's a good one.
Yeah. Let me, for example, those like us who preach, you may have a very good message. You know, when you are speaking, sometimes the Holy Ghost is speaking.
True.
Maybe you did not record. Nobody's writing the notes for you.
Sure.
And the notes that you wrote in your book is not what you say, because now the Spirit of God will take over and speak to the people, minister to them.
True.
A word of God is a sword that cuts both sides. You also need to hear that.
True.
Maybe you did not understand everything that you said. So you need also to sit down, and it will bless me more than you. And I spoke it. Yeah.
The power of revisiting what you have written.
Yes.
We've said there is no age and time of setting about the New Year's resolution. Is there a difference when it comes to aging? We've said it doesn't have age, but do you have age? Okay, what do I mean? When a young person resolution and an older person resolution, do you have differences when it, or is it individualized based? How do we go about them?
It is individual, because you could be having a big vision when you are young, and there's someone who realizes themselves when they are late. They have been sleeping. Then it comes out, they wake up at 40, they wake up at 50. And that's when they need now to plan, achieve, and implement.
True.
So it is good to learn early. Learn early, you start planning, even keep those books. You'll be looking, hey, last year I planned to do this. Did I achieve? Why did I fail? What could I have done better than this? What could have made me achieve this which I did not achieve? Then you look at what have you written for this year. Are you just duplicating, or are you doing something new before achieving the other? Yeah. And maybe you have dropped the previous and you want to do something new. Then you can be able to refer. So along, as we have said, depends where you wake up, at what age you come to wake up. Maybe a young person like this is hearing this now, but maybe someone who is now 40 not hear this, and they just live. People who live just wake up in the evening, sleep, wake up. They don't have plans, they don't have strategies, and that's where they are.
On that note of sleeping and waking up to identify yourself, let's take a short break. Viewers, you're hearing from Pastor Pa Blessing the insight that she's having about the resolution, and when you wake up, that is the time you realize what you have missed out and how you can now implement. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more insights on this. Please send in your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144.